Recognizing and embracing our self-worth is crucial for living fulfilling lives and fostering healthy relationships. Our self-worth shapes how we perceive ourselves, navigate life's challenges, and interact with those around us. When we know our self-worth, we are better equipped to set boundaries, advocate for our needs, and cultivate authentic connections with others. By valuing ourselves, we establish a foundation of self-respect and confidence that empowers us to lead lives aligned with our values, aspirations, and to engage in relationships that honor our worthiness. Ultimately, knowing our self-worth enables us to live authentically and cultivate meaningful connections that enhance our overall well-being and fulfillment. As I continue to live my life as a single woman, I am doing a lot of self-work to understand myself and the ways I contribute to nurturing and loving me. With the experiences I have gone through when it comes to relationship with others, I also have to focus on the relationship with myself. What do I need to do in order to know what I need and want in my life? I have to truly search those things within me so that I know the things I'm getting is worth my time and effort. I have to know my worth so that I am not just accepting anything that is not meant for me. So on this episode, I will be talking in depth of the things I have realized that it's important to know my worth when it comes to my life and in creating relationships with others. Self is the most important part of life that we all should not neglect. If you want to know more about how you can identify your self-worth when it comes to relationship within yourself and with others, keep listening because you don't want to miss this episode. Another episode of yours Druelee. It is I, your one and only host, Druelee, of course. Let's take a moment to, do some breathing exercise, okay? Let's just breathe in and breathe out. You guys don't know how hard it has been for me, okay? For those who don't know, I did an update on one of my episodes where I mentioned that I started my new position and I started working first shift. And you guys, I've been trying my hardest to figure out how I was going to make time to record an episode for you guys. It's been, you guys, I've been adjusting. Let me take a moment just to vent a little bit before I start this episode. First and foremost, okay, I've been just trying to get used to the first shift life, okay? I'm so glad that I'm able to soak in some vitamin D. And when I say vitamin D, it's not the D, okay? It's the sun, okay? The sun rays, okay? I am able to experience the sun, the outdoors. It's much needed, even though it's for a short period of time. I am super glad that I'm able to actually see the sun, okay? Also, I am just having a hard time trying to get some sleep. I know that when working second shift, I had sleep insomnia. I had a hard time going to sleep, okay? But this time, I don't know, I have been waking up super early, around 3:30 in the morning, sometimes 4, but yeah, it's been a struggle for me, and by the time I'm off work, I am at home around 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish, depending on when I'm done with work. And of course, traffic. I freaking hate traffic in the afternoon. I don't miss that one bit. Of course, I have to get used to the adjustments. What I'm trying to say is that by the time I get home, I get super tired. I've been trying to incorporate working out. I hate it. You guys know I hate working out, but I know that it's good for me and that I need to continue to do that. But you guys, I know I'm making excuses for myself, but I'm just letting you guys know it's a struggle. By the time I get home, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I eat, and after I'm done eating, I just don't want to do anything. I just want to go to sleep. It's to the point where I am catching myself sleeping around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, for those who work first shift, are you guys going to sleep at 8 p.m.? I feel like it doesn't matter what shift you work, and you're going to feel super tired, and you just don't have time for anything else. Talk about being an adult, you guys. I just wanted to update you guys on what I've been trying to do. I did wanted to record an episode last week, but because of the time and just overworking, I don't know. I'm just a workaholic. Of course, knowing myself, I do need the money. Okay, I need to be financially stable, and being a single woman, I am doing this all by myself. And when I do this all by myself, I have to financially provide for myself. And with that being said, I'm gonna take advantage of these overtime that is given to me, and I'm very grateful that my work is able to give me overtime. But I have to take a step back. Okay, I last week I just had so much to do. I felt like I didn't have time for anything, and I was just stressing over how am I going to insert my podcast into my life or to the weekend. Should I do it on a Friday or Saturday? I don't know. But you guys, I've been working a lot on Friday and on Saturday. It's to a point where I had to take a step back and I have to reflect on my life and ask myself, do I want work to be the main thing in my life? And the answer is no. As much as I know that I have to work, make money, pay bills and all that stuff, right? I also have to realize that there's more to life than just working. I also want to enjoy my life. I want to hang out with my friends, families. I want to explore what's out there in the world. Like, I want to do so much, and working is just not it. It is good to work and to provide for yourself. However, sometimes it's just best to, when you don't need to work, you don't need to work. And that's why I've decided to not work this Saturday. I just got to be able to figure out my life out. And as much as I, love work, easy and simple, of course, this is not something that I see myself doing for a long period of time. I have to reflect on it and think to myself, I can't always have my life revolve work only. I also have to make time for other things as well. And so that's what I'm learning just recently. And with that, it kind of made me thought about, knowing my worth and knowing what I am doing when it comes to, living life. And this also ties back to the previous episode as well. And it just made me thought about, like, what am I doing for myself? What are certain things that I can do to help my life become better? And on this episode, I just want to talk about more in depth of the things that I've learned when it comes to self-worth. And a lot of times, it doesn't matter if it's self-worth when it comes to yourself. It could be within relationships with other people, or whatever and however you see it when it comes to your self-worth. For me, I just wanted to just go in depth about the things that I have seen or the things that I have done when it comes to knowing my worth on just basically anything. Your worth on work, your worth on a relationship with either your spouse, your families, your friends, your worth when it comes to, I don't know, anything that comes your way. And so in this episode, I just wanted to dive deep into that. And hopefully for those who are struggling to understand yourself and knowing what your worth is, I hope that this episode will help you to see those things and to actually put these things into your life. And I only have 5 things to share with you guys. And eventually I will definitely do a more in-depth on these 5 things. But in between, a lot of these things they correlate with each other. They are connected to each other in a way, and you guys will always hear me repeat myself on a lot of these things, just because the more I repeat these things, the more it is important for you guys to also have these things incorporated into your day-to-day life as well, and for yourself. And so if you guys hear me repeat myself on certain topics or certain things, or going back to certain things that I've talked about in the past, it's because it's important. And I live my life doing these things and knowing these things, okay? So, of course, like I said, 5 things that I known, or 5 things when to know your self-worth is, the first and foremost, of course, is self-care. So if you guys want to take a short pause and stop listening to this episode, I suggest you guys to listen to the previous episode 38, self-care, in which I talk a lot more about 2 different types of self-care you can do, which is externally and internally. And a lot of times when it comes to self-care, we always talk about taking care of ourselves externally, but then I mentioned that we should also take care of ourselves internally. So if you want to learn more about that, go ahead and pause this episode and then go to episode 38, and I will go in depth on those things. And pretty much what you're doing is you want to prioritize self-care practices that will nurture your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. You have to make time for activities that brings you joy, that will relax you, and that will bring you fulfillment. So, of course, very self-explanatory, but if you want more in-depth of self-care and knowing your worth through self-care, check out that last episode that I posted recently, okay? Moving on to the second one, when to know your self-worth is pretty much knowing your deal breakers. What are some things you can and cannot tolerate for you to let go and move on from a situations, person, or things? You have to know your core values, the values that you have set for yourself. So I want you to reflect on all the values and priorities in your life. You want to determine what is truly important to you in, let's say, for example, in a relationship, whether it is being honest, being respectful, trustworthy, loyal, communicating, or other qualities. You can use this for relationship within families or friends as well, coworkers, just anybody. You have to know what you value in life. If you value family, you value family time. If you value creating personal connections with them, or let's say if you want to be a part of a community that can help you live life, like for example, I am Hmong. A lot of our Hmong families, especially our last name or our clan, a lot of the families are very close-knit when it comes to community and helping each other out. My family, unfortunately, we are not like that. But I do see that majority of some of the Hmong families and people that I meet, they are very close-knit when it comes to their own clan family, helping each other out when it comes to special occasion, New Year's, weddings, funerals, all that stuff. If family is something that you value a lot and you want to be part of a community, then you want to stress that out with the person that you're dating, or just people that you're making friends with or conversate with. Let's say if you are with somebody, or you know somebody who is not aligned with the values that you deem that is important, then that's up to you to decide whether or not you want to continue that relationship with that person. Some of the deal breakers for me when it comes to, I don't know, cutting off people or just ending the relationship. If you guys remember the character Lost Boy, I know it's been a minute since I remember this character, but Lost Boy was basically a character in my life that I was able to disconnect from, to break out of, to basically remove from my life. And the reason why I'm no longer associated with Lost Boy is because Lost Boy was the ex-husband. I mentioned in previous episodes where I mentioned that because of this relationship, I was able to create this podcast. And one of the reason why we didn't work out is because one of my deal breaker or one of the deal breakers that I had realized that I wasn't going to tolerate was cheating. And although there wasn't cheating throughout the relationship, but towards the end of the relationship, there was cheating. And knowing myself, I wasn't going to be a part of that relationship, knowing the fact that the trust is no longer there. And I wasn't all about the baby mama drama stuff, okay? I just wasn't all about that. And from there on, I like I mentioned to you guys, I realized that it's not worth my time to be in that relationship if trust and respect isn't there. And so my deal breaker for that relationship itself was I'm not going to tolerate cheating, nor am I going to tolerate disrespect and disloyalty in a relationship. So that's why I've decided to move on. For some people who are, in a relationship, an intimate relationship, and you feel like it's really hard for you to move on and you're afraid to be alone and all that stuff, right? The only reason why it was so easy for me to break away from that is because I just knew my worth, basically. I knew what I can and cannot tolerate from that connection. And like I said, I'm not going to deal with cheating. I'm not going to deal with someone who's a liar, who cannot commit, who's just going to be a child and not being able to have a one-on-one conversation, an adult conversation when it comes to situations that we can work out. With that, my thinking is that if I'm able to do life without this person, then this is no point of me being in that relationship. You have to realize all of that. You have to know what you can and cannot deal with. So that's just an example when it comes to a relationship with a spouse or a partner. You can use this analogy with disconnecting yourself with families or friends as well too, because some families or friends, they will treat you like shit, okay? And that's up to you to see what you value when it comes to families or friends. And along with knowing what you value in these type of relationship, you also have to create your own boundaries as well too. And I've talked about boundaries a lot of times, like knowing your boundaries. So with that, you have to define your personal boundaries and deal breakers based on your values and your needs. So consider what behaviors or situations are unacceptable to you and be able to determine whether to draw the line, to either continue the relationship or to cut it off. And with that, both of the knowing your values and drawing your boundaries, they both correlate with each other. You don't want other people to, step all over you and treat you like shit. Because if you're not treating other people like shit, why are you allowing other people to treat you like shit? Like, come on now. So, these are just some examples that I can give to you guys. And I know it's easy said and done. It's a lot easier to say these things, but when it comes to doing it, some of you guys have a hard time. And I'm not trying to force you to, break up with your partner or break off from families or friends. My thing is that you have to go through all of the values that you have within yourself and what you truly value when it comes to life, when it comes to a relationship, when it comes to anything. And if it doesn't align with the other person's values, or if they don't see the same thing as you do, there's just no point of being in that relationship. You just have to know what you can and cannot tolerate when it comes to people treating you like that. And this ties to the next one, which is number 3, disrespect. What are some things and actions people are doing or saying to you that are disrespecting you as a person and the things you value in your life? All of these things are connected to each other. When you know your values, when you are creating boundaries, but yet the person that you are with is treating you like shit, they don't respect you, they don't respect your values, they don't respect your boundaries. When you tell them that you don't like certain things, it's not like you're forcing them or you're raising your voice. You are just communicating to them what you like and what you don't like. And the moment when they disrespect you or they disregard what you have to say, you still want to be part of that relationship. You still want to have that connection with this person. I don't think so. That's why I say, for me, when Lost Boy cheated on me, that respect was gone. The trust is gone. I'm not going to go back to that. Like, once it's broken, it's broken. Like, that's just how I realize what kind of person I am. Because I'm a type where, I respect you. And I would trust you to an extent, okay? But for the most part, I am genuine and I will love you wholeheartedly. And I'm not going to fake it till you make it, okay? I am the realest of the real. And when someone disrespects me, I just don't have respect for that person. Even though I've said it before, I said what's on my mind and what I truly feel. When I am not receiving the same thing back, or if I am expressing how I feel, but yet I am feeling disregarded, there's no respect right there. So how would you identify disrespectful behavior? Well, all you gotta do is pay attention to behaviors or comments that make you feel belittled, if you feel devalued or not validated at all. You basically have to trust your instincts, and you have to recognize when someone is crossing your boundaries or disrespecting you. To go in depth with how to identify these kind of behaviors, like I mentioned, cheating, of course. The other thing is, if you go to my episode 22, Don't Hurt Me, that's where I talk about the 7 types of abuse that you can experience when it comes to, it could be an intimate relationship or through families or friends, just people that you know and that you care of. There's 7 types of abuse. When a person's not physically abusing you, they're also abusing you in different areas, such as verbally abusing you. A person might call you fat, ugly, slow, or a dumbass. Or it could be emotionally abused, where when you're sharing your emotions and this person don't give a shit. Or they will tell you to, oh, you worry too much, don't worry about it. Or they give you the silent treatment. That's emotionally abused. There's tons of different types of abuse. So go ahead and check that out. That way you have more understanding of those different types of abuse. And of course, the big major one is physical abuse. If you're getting hit, or if your partner or someone you know is aggressively pushing you, or if they are sexually assaulting you in any way, that is disrespectful behavior. Especially when you didn't give consent, or when they are doing things that is hurting you. You don't want that. That's disrespectful. They don't respect you at all. So how would you address disrespectful behavior? When you address disrespectful behavior directly and assertively when it occurs, you have to use the I statement to express how the behavior that they are doing towards you to make you feel. And you have to assert your boundaries without resorting to aggressions or whatsoever. So example of that will be, you have to advocate for yourself and your needs. In situations where you feel disrespected, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to communicate what is going on, what you don't like about certain things. And you have to assert your rights to be treated with respect. And let's say if you said all that you had to say, you communicated to the person that was disrespecting you, somehow they're not doing anything or they're not realizing it, then it's time for you to move along. And let's say that they are doing these things, but you're not telling them, you're not communicating to the person that they are treating you this way. You're basically allowing them to treat you that way. So for example, going back to cheating, I don't know how some of you guys do it. I've heard a lot of people, when they get cheated on, they still take that person back. I don't understand that. I get that you have kids. You have a belief in religion, I guess, that you don't believe in divorce or stuff like that, right? For me, my thing is that if that person has cheated on you and you take them back, they're going to cheat again. And that pretty much tells them that you're allowing them to treat you that way. If you can take them back when they cheat on you, they're going to keep cheating on you. Some people are willing to change, okay? But majority of the time, some people will not change. So that's just my personal belief. You can believe whatever, but for me personally, I'm just letting you guys know that I would never take back a person who cheats on me. Because knowing myself, I would never cheat. And I know how it feels like when it comes to being the one to get cheated on. And for the most part, I'll be damned if I have to take you back and you fucking cheat on me again. That's the biggest disrespect right there. For those who are in a relationship where you're being cheated on or you're the one that's cheated, that's on you guys. But I suggest once you get cheated on, time to go. I don't care if you have kids or you have like business or whatever. Find a way to, I don't know, silently walk away. I don't know how you'll do it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of resources out there that can help you figure that out. But my thing is that I would not be in a relationship where I'm being cheated on, take this person back and get cheated back again. No. Hell to the fuck no. So you gotta know your worth when it comes to that. And if you're getting cheated on, leave. Okay? That's my advice for those who are in that situation. That's just number 3, making sure that when you know your worth, when other people are disrespecting you, time to go. Say no to that. Let's go to number 4. The next one, that will be not settling for less. Do you feel that you're worth more than what you're currently settling for? Now, let's be more specific. What do I mean by not settling for less? Of course, everybody is always wanting to talk about relationships, right? The intimate relationships. So within the relationship side, not settling for less, that involves recognizing signs that the relationship does not meet your needs, align with your values, or it doesn't contribute positively into your well-being. And here are some examples that I can give you guys is when you're in a relationship, going back to the disrespect, is there respect in the relationship or is there disrespect? Is this person emotionally available to you or unavailable to you? What about equal efforts? Are they doing their part when it comes to being a part of the relationship? Are your values matching? What about repeated boundaries that's being violated? Going back to cheating. If you voice to your partner that you don't accept cheating, but you're willing to forgive and be with this person again, but let's say that they cheated numerous times over and over again, are you okay with that? Okay. What about feelings of unhappiness or unfulfillment? What about you ignoring the red flags? There's plenty of red flags, right? And what about what happens if you're in a relationship where your partner is comparing you to their exes? There's just a lot of things that you shouldn't settle for less when it comes to being in a relationship. So these are just examples that I've given you. However, you have to ask yourself, if you have a list of things that you are looking into when it comes to being in a relationship with someone, but yet they show any of these signs, are you willing to lower your standards to settle for less than what you know you are worth more? You have to ask yourself that. I know that I'm not going to settle for less, okay, when it comes to a relationship. And you guys know that too, because I've said it in my previous episode. I'm not going to settle for less. And I don't give a fuck if people say that, well, you need to lower it. You guys, I lowered my standards like super low to the point where I got screwed over, okay? And from that, after that relationship, I'm like, no more. I'm not going to settle for less. It's either I find somebody who is better than me, okay? Like, if he's not better than me, he's not living his life better than me, then why the fuck would I want to be in a relationship with him? Like, he has to outbeat me. If I have to be the one to outbeat him, to be the smartest one, to be the good one, to be everything, I don't want it, okay? Yeah, that's asking for a lot. But I don't care. Would I rather be in the same situation that I was from my previous relationship, or would I want more? I want more because I know better now. So that's that on the relationship side. But for your individual life, for not settling for less, knowing that if you are settling for less in life involves recognizing a couple of signs that you're not living up to your full potential or fulfilling your desires and aspirations, your dreams and goals in life, right? A couple of examples that you know that you are settling for less in your life is lack of fulfillment. You are ignoring your dreams. You lack growth. You compromise your values a lot. You are going back to settling in a relationship that's not fulfilling you because you're afraid to be alone. Okay, honest the truth. Okay, some people are afraid to be alone, and so they'd rather be in a relationship just so that it can fill in that void of being lonely. We don't want that. Another thing is fear of taking risk, being uncomfortable. You're not fulfilled in your career. You are neglecting self-care, of course, or you are ignoring your inner voice, your intuition. These are just examples that you will know when you are settling for less. You are not the person that you should be. You're basically the lower level of yourself. Let's just be honest, okay? If you are seeing your life in a negative way versus the positive way, that's a huge sign of knowing that you are settling for less. And we don't want that. You gotta know that you are worth more than just the lower level of the lower energy, okay? We want to be in the highest of the high. And when you are compromising a lot of things that you usually don't compromise, or you're just, like I said, in a relationship that you know that you're not supposed to be in it, or you are uncomfortable on certain scenarios in your life, or you're just a lot of negative things that is not helping you to become the best version of yourself, did you know that you're settling for less? These are just examples that I just have for you guys. Two things, of course. Knowing how you're settling for less relationship wise and your life wise. These are just some things that we don't want to do in our life. Like for me, I don't want to do it in my life. Like I said, I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who cheats on me. What the fuck? I don't want I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who like emotionally abused me. Like I don't want that. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to continue to, live my dreams, have dreams, and be able to succeed in them. I want to be in a relationship where we both respect each other. We both are willing to communicate. And when we get angry, we're going to get angry, and we're going to be able to resolve each other's situations or come up with solutions. And, it's not going to be perfect, but if we're willing to work things out because we're in it to win, then fuck yeah. Like, let me ride the roller coaster with you, So, again, I just hope that you guys are not settling for less, because if you are, let's come on. We gotta know worth, okay? We got to know that we can settle for more, of course. And then the last one, the final one, is one reason to know our self-worth is to pursue personal growth. And with this, you want to engage in activities that promote personal growth, learning, and development. You want to set goals that will align with your values and aspirations, and you have to take steps to achieve them. You want to believe in your potential. So when you recognize the potential that you have in your personal growth, you are inherently capable of growth, change, and improvements. You believe in your ability to learn, adapt, and overcome challenges as you pursue that personal growth. You also will be setting inspirational goals that are meaningful, and it is beneficial for you to grow. Another thing is you will embrace challenges. It will not stray you away from doing something that you are not used to. You will view those challenges and setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth rather than obstacles. So you will embrace discomfort, uncertainty, and failures as valuable experiences that contribute to your personal development. You are yearning and craving to learn so many things. So by being proactive in seeking and learning opportunities that contributes to your personal growth, it will help you to be formally educated. You can also self-study. You can also find other people to mentor or find yourself a mentor. You will also prioritize a lot of activities that will expand your knowledge, your skills, and your perspective in life or whatever subjects that you're into. And with that, I do have to realize that when I'm a type of person where I enjoy learning about certain things, why things happen the way it does. There's a lot of things that I'm very intrigued in. Like I always mention to you guys, I'm intrigued in numerology, horoscope, Chinese zodiac, the zodiac sign, like anything spirituality or anything that deals with self. I'm so into all of these things. And there's so much to learn. But when you pursue your own personal growth and wanting to learn certain things, you will eventually gain more knowledge, gain different perspective, and be able to, educate other people about things that you have learned. And with that, you will also be cultivating self-awareness by, reflecting on your strength, your weaknesses. You'll be able to reflect a lot more on what you truly value in your life and also setting goals. You're just more aware of who you truly are as a person. You're aware of your surroundings. You are aware of basically what you like and don't like when it comes to certain people, talking to you or certain people treating you a certain way. You basically will know your worth when you actually are seeking to actually wanting to challenge yourself to do a lot more than what you are doing now. Just going back to the potential, when it comes to like being in a relationship, a lot of people are in it because of the potential. And sometimes we don't know certain things that we're good at until some people tell us, hey, you're really good at this. Why don't you do this? We tend to be hard on ourselves. We tend to overthink. We're a perfectionist. That's all me. So, for example, for me, I tend to be a perfectionist. I overthink and I want to make sure that everything's perfect, but I know that things are not perfect and, it's okay. Certain things that I know or some things that I don't know, people would tell me that, hey, you're good at this. Why don't you do this? And when it comes to that, we have to consider other people thinking of us. It could be negative or positive. But my thing is that we don't know everything about ourselves, even the good or the bad. And the only way that we can know that is through other people who have associated themselves with us. And so we have friends and families or partners who are telling you that, hey, you are acting like this and this and this. You should change this a bit about yourself. When it comes to changing, as long as you're changing for the better, then change. But if you're changing for the worse, then don't change at all. This is just my advice. That's why I say you have the potential, but instead of just having potential, you have to be that potential. Kind of have to recognize that. But of course, when you are growing and learning about yourself, you will actually turn that potential to a real thing in your life. So that's that. But yeah, you guys, this is all that I have for you guys. Like that's all the 5 things that I realized and that what I've noticed when it comes to knowing my self-worth. Of course, self-care and learning about the different deal breakers that I can and cannot tolerate when it comes to relationship within myself and with others. Feeling disrespected. If I know that I'm being disrespected, fuck it. I know my word should get the fuck out of there or just keep my distance. And with that, I'm not going to settle for less because I know I am worth more than what I am worth before. And I know I can aim high. That is if I work hard at it. And with that, knowing my worth is when I am on the verge of continuing to pursue my growth in my life. I believe that you don't end or you don't stop growing. A lot of people say that, this is who I am. I'm never going to change. I'm never going to grow. When people actually say that, don't associate yourself with people like that. If they are needing to change for the better and they don't want to because they feel like they're getting old and there's no point of changing for the better, don't waste your time with that person, because they're just going to drag you down and they're just going to be the same person for 10 plus 30 plus year or whatever years. Okay. My thing is that you don't stop growing until you die. Always continue to pursue your growth in life, pursue the growth in your individual self. Those are just the 5 things that I just wanted to go in depth with you guys. Of course, some of these points I will be going a lot more in depth on a later episodes. However, I just want to keep it sweet and simple for you guys. And just know that if I know my worth, I want you guys to know your worth, okay? Just don't look down on yourself. Know that you're worth more than what you were worth yesterday. Work hard on yourself. And like I said, when you're working on yourself, you're not selfish at all. You're just being the best version of yourself, because when you become the best version of yourself, you become the best person for other people. And that's how you build a happy and fulfilling relationship. I realized that a lot of times relationships don't work is because we ourselves are not working on ourselves. And when we neglect ourselves and we don't truly see who we really are, and we don't have the desire and the yearning to improve, then what's the point of being in a relationship with other people? So, and sometimes it's nice to just have that person to help you to realize and to see that you need to work on yourself. And if that works for you, by all means, go right ahead and be in the relationship. But if being in a relationship is not fulfilling you and is dragging you to a point where you don't know who you are, you don't know your self-worth, then I advise you to not be in a relationship. Just cut that shit off and just be in your own relationship. That is all that I have for you guys. I don't know if this is going to be a long one or a short one. Who knows? But you guys know me. I love to ramble. I like to say like random things. But all in all, that is it that I have for you guys. I hope you guys know your self-worth. Love yourself. Pour love to yourself. Don't neglect yourself. At the end of the day, this is your life. You own your life. Nobody owns it but you. Yeah, that's all I have. I need to end this episode. Other than that, thanks to everyone who has been listening to me and always supporting me, and I don't know, just coming through and just listening to what I have to say. Hopefully the advice and the experiences that I have is encouraging you to live life to the fullest and start loving yourself. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next episode then. Bye.